If you're a student who's interested in getting into private equity for your career in the future, I've got a 5-year plan which can help you break in. Coming up. I'm going to assume that you're a student and you're going to a university, you're going to do your undergraduate degree, perhaps in finance or in engineering or some other subject. And then you're going to follow the career path. So what you're going to do is you're going to go on to become an analyst, perhaps at an investment bank or a consulting firm or some other institution. You do that for a couple of years, 2 years, 3 years, then you go off and you go and do an MBA or an advanced degree in finance. And then following that, you become an analyst. And at this point, you're somewhere around 25, 26. And you're hoping this is going to be a career path in which can get you into an investment bank or a big LBO firm or a mid-cap firm. And the question is, how do you stand out from the crowd? Because that's really what it's all about, because these jobs are really very competitive. What you've probably done already is sent out your CV to quite a few firms. So for example, LBO firms or other firms, and you've probably got very limited responses unless you've got some kind of connection that can get you in. But how can you boost your CV to really make it stand out by the age of 25? What we're going to do is at the age of 20, we're going to start you out with your fund number 1. So what you do is you get 5,000 euros of your own money. And over the course of a year, you're going to lend that to your friends at university or other acquaintances of yours. Make a bunch of loans of about 500 euros each for 25 euros a month interest, and try to achieve an average 4-month maturity. So you could lend some money to one friend of him to buy some rollerblades, to someone else to buy a stereo, etc., etc. And so make these 10 loans over the period of 1 year and make sure you collect them, make sure you get your money back. And then at the end of the year, you'll have done fund number 1 and keep records for each loan, sign an agreement, and make sure you make the loans through your bank account and you get them repaid back through your same bank account. Now you're 21 years old and you've got your first fund under your belt. So we're going to go with fund number 2. Now what you're going to do is you're going to ask family and friends to give you some money to manage on the back of your first fund. So now you've got 15,000 euros. And what you're going to give yourself a little more time now, 18 months. So more of the same, but a bit more sophisticated. So you're going to give slightly bigger loans. You might do some loans that could convert into ownership of a small business if your friends are thinking of starting something, but don't exaggerate with that, because it's still very important, much more important to make sure you get repaid your money than to have a big home run. You've got to show consistency. So over 18 months, you place these funds, you place this 15,000, and you start to get it all back, and you try and achieve a decent return. And by the end of that, you're 23 years old. Now you're 23, 24 years old, and you've got 2 funds under your belt. So now you can use that experience, and you're going to go and raise a bit more money from friends, family, and a bit further afield. And you're going to come up with 50,000 euros and maybe get a partner on board to work on this fund with you who could bring some money of their own. And so what you're going to do now is you're going to do something a bit more. You're going to give yourself 2 years. You're going to invest in some small businesses, mainly as loans, potentially convertible loans. You're going to follow these investments. And then after 2 years, you're going to recollect this investment and earn a return. Now, bear in mind that for all these 3 funds, this is something you can very easily do in parallel with your studies. So, for example, for fund number 1, you just contact somebody, do you want to borrow some money, send them the money, sign the agreement, 4 months later, collect the money. Not much work involved. So you can do these funds, find a way to do these funds in parallel with your work as a student, as an MBA, as an analyst. And then finally, at the end of fund number 3, you're 24, you're 25 years old, and you've actually got a track record of having managed 3 small funds. In fund number 1, you learn how to make an investment and make sure you get your money back. In fund number 2, you did a bit of fundraising and did some more sophisticated investments, and you incorporated. And then in fund number 3, you brought in a partner, you've raised money from a wider field, and you've created a management company, and you've incorporated a partnership. And so when at the age of 25, you go to a private equity fund with your degree, with your analyst experience, you've also got a magic ace that you can play that others will not have. And that is, you're a fund manager already.